Hi, Real Academics. This is Maggie. Today I want to talk about the first step to applying for an academic faculty position. Fall is the time when a lot of applications start popping up. So if you are in that phase or you are just practicing that phase, I want to give you a couple of tips and tricks and tools that hopefully will make this process more transparent and less stressful, hopefully. So I've done this many, many times, and I have some things I think would be helpful for you. So let me know in the comments below if they are, or there's other things you'd like to see, or if you have your own tips and strategies and other resources, that would be fantastic because that would help out the real academic community. So let me start by sharing my screen. So I'm going to share my whole screen. Ooh, that doesn't look very pretty. All right, there we go. So I went to Inside Higher Ed and I went ahead and did a search. I put in education just because that's my field. And let's look here. I got a couple different job posts. If it were me, I'm going to do it like if it were me, because that'd just be easier for me to model for you. And I would probably go for this one, Associate Full Education Literacy at the University of Michigan School of Education in Ann Arbor, Michigan. If I was starting off, I would not be looking at this one. I would be looking at an assistant professor of education, which I'm kind of curious about. That looks like it's an, yeah, this is right up my alley because this is, they're preferring bilingual, biliterate. Okay, very cool. But let's go with this one just because. All right. So one of the things you want to do is read the job description very carefully. Having been on the other side on search committees, I can tell you it's very easy to tell when someone has not read this description carefully. So I'm going to walk you through how to read it carefully using a template that I created as a first step to helping me formulate my thoughts and see how the description and myself go together or not. And let me just preface all this by saying that often these descriptions are kind of looking for a unicorn. You're going to see things that are like, well, I fit some of this, but I don't fit all of these things. That's okay. If you fit 60% of what they want, apply. Apply, especially if you're passionate about the position and you have very strong points to contribute. Apply. Okay. And we'll probably see examples of this as we go. So let's look here. So it says here, the School of Education at the University of Michigan seeks to appoint an associate or full professor. So again, make sure you qualify for that. In literacy, language, and culture, interesting, with a focus on early elementary literacy. All right, so right off the bat, I'm going to put this here. They want early elementary literacy. Okay, so I can talk about that. Sure, and I'll go back to that in a second. We invite applicants whose scholarship focuses on, again, here it is, elementary literacy education, and whose research contributes to knowledge in the areas of teacher preparation, policy, and or curriculum and pedagogy. When you see that, it's a sign. If you fit teacher prep, let's say, and curriculum and pedagogy, great. You don't have to fit everything, okay? Like you don't have to fit all of these categories. So I could copy the whole thing because I could actually speak to all of these, but there's definitely, this is normal. There will be areas that you would just have more developed because I have a lot of research in that area. So I could really speak to this. So I'm just going to highlight it for myself. This is messy. This is for me to see, no one else. Of course, the whole world is seeing this. I'm not applying to this job. I'm only modeling for you my thought process so that you can have an idea of a way that you could process all this information, because it's a lot of information. And if you're applying to multiple positions, it can be a lot to keep track of. So that's why I like to have these templates for myself and for my thinking process. And it causes me to slow down and really pay attention to the words that they're using, the things they value, and then thinking about myself, like, do I value that? Would I fit in this environment? Would I want, like, could I contribute? And do they align with me? Right? So it goes both ways. We're particularly interested in scholars who engage with critical and/or anti-racist perspectives in their research with an eye to mitigating inequities that undermine literacy education as a tool for promoting social justice. That's a mouthful. But okay, so this is definitely a strong focus of theirs. So I could, and again, notice here the and or. Okay, so you might highlight the areas that you've engaged with more, or maybe you've engaged in all of them. All right. Okay. Then applicants must, oh, that's a strong word. Okay. So that's important. Focus on a specialization that advances scholarship in these areas, which may include the following. Again, doesn't mean you have to hit all of these points. If you can, more power to you. That's awesome. But there again, just like in all of these, there may be areas you can really speak to more. Maybe two out of all, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 out of 5 of these you could really, really speak to. Okay. So you could write about that here. All right. The successful applicant must form explicit connections between their work and SOE's, I guess, School of Education's commitments to contribute to diversity, inclusion, justice, and equity. So there's those words again. There are those words again. I'm going to I think sometimes I group things like with like because things are repeated, but I like to have their wording, this like commitment to contribute. That might be something I could work into my own writing and how I phrase things. Candidates should have a strong knowledge of the field of literacy education and teaching experience in K through 12 school contexts. Okay. So I would speak to my experience in that here in this column. Candidates should be prepared to participate actively in the school's endeavors to transform initial teacher preparation in literacy, as well as to help grow the school's undergraduate and master's levels offerings. Okay. So that basically means they're wanting program development, right? For their teacher prep program at the undergrad and master's level. So I would write here about my experience doing that. And remember, this is not an entry-level position. So if you're looking for your first academic job, this would not be in the job requirement, most likely. I mean, who knows? I don't know, but it might or might not be. But the successful candidate should, through his or her research, teaching, and/or service, contribute to the development of professionals who have skills necessary to teach literacy effectively in a society that's increased. There's the diverse and whose scholars are inequitably resourced. So I could really speak to my experience doing this, actually. Right, so I'm going to put that there. Another important component is doctoral education. Candidates should be prepared to teach literacy courses in the doctoral program in educational studies in the School of Education. I might just copy the whole thing because when I write my letter, it'll be really important for me to use, show them that I know that they are the program in educational studies in the School of Education. Okay. Because every place is different. All right. So I could speak to my work with developing doctoral students for sure. In addition to coursework, candidates should be prepared to participate in advising doctoral students. Ah, there we go, supervising initiative and all this work. Okay, so I could keep going because there's bullet points here. So this is nice, a nice summary. So they say a doctoral degree in education with an emphasis in elementary literacy. That kind of goes up here with the literacy, the overarching thing, right? Now, I don't have a doctoral degree in literacy education. My degree does not say that. My doctoral degree is in educational psychology with an emphasis in bilingual education, which has all kinds of cultural and diverse elements of literacy. And my background was very much rooted in elementary literacy. So I'm not going to let that stop me from applying. I just want you to know that because it's sometimes we see things in job posts are like, oh, well, I don't, my degree doesn't say that. I'm like, no, 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 no. There are ways to talk about what you bring to the table and your research and your experience. And in fact, if anything, I think my bilingual literacy background would fit very nicely with what they're looking for as far as preparing teachers to work with specific populations of students. So some things are repeated, like experience teaching at K through 12 and university levels, including literacy method courses. Okay, so I might actually do a whole, here they talk about K through 12 already. University, I could talk about my university teaching for sure. So maybe I'll put experience teaching university level. And then here it says literacy method courses. So even if I haven't taught like just straight out literacy, I can talk about all the biliteracy courses that's taught. Okay. And I could go on and on, right? With this list, I could put some things group like with like is what I call it when boxes I already have. And then I can start drafting out my credentials, like how I fit in, right? So I have a doctoral, like I said, degree in educational psychology. And I could put, it's multilingual. I could put by multilingual education. Could speak to biliteracy. Okay, talk research and teacher prep for working with diverse students. I have a lot of research in that, so I could really talk about that. Here, so this would probably tie into this discussion about diversity, inclusion, justice, and equity. And then I can go in here and highlight. I could definitely speak to asset-based literacy. Can't speak as much to this, and that's okay, because remember, that was one of those and ors. I've worked with people that do that, but I'm going to really focus on my experience and strengths here. Assessment has been an area of mine. So this is just what I want to show you. So then I would write to my strengths here, okay? And if, and be aware that there's these other things people are obviously in the search committee interested in. So when you do your Zoom, do your on-campus interview, you will get it. You can speak to, and I'm very interested, I've done some work in this and I'd like to do more and learn more about whatever, XYZ. Okay. And there's other steps that I will show you and I have other templates for getting to know the people on your committee, your search committee. Okay. But I just wanted to show you this for now, and you can just keep filling out the boxes. And I love it. This slows me down, makes, kind of forces me in a good way to pay attention to the job call, right, to the job post. And then when I'm done doing this, I start getting excited usually if it's a good fit, right? If they're a good fit for me. And then it's easier for me to put what are the top 3 reasons that I am right, the right candidate for this position, or I'd go so far as to say the best candidate for this position because this is very competitive. And this is kind of where your passion comes out. And so, like, if it were me, I mean, and I haven't gone through the whole process, I think right off the top of my head, I'd be thinking, oh my gosh, it's elementary literacy. I'm so passionate about that in terms of my practice in the past as a teacher, as well as like teacher preparation. My research aligns beautifully to what they want. So I would formulate somehow 3 very strong points, especially of things that keep coming up in their language that speak to me as well. Once you have these written out, they're awesome tools for you to prepare for the Zoom interview, the on-campus interview, and let me back up, even for writing your cover letter, because you want to emphasize those points over and over and over again. Okay, so that's that, Real Academics. I'm going to go ahead and throw in this matrix for you for free if you for those of you that purchase the Ultimate Academic Career Bundle, which I will talk about in another video, where we have all these really exciting templates created for you to help you write your, and I bet they're going to ask for that here. Aha, yes, they are. Yes, so they want a letter of interest. That's your cover letter. A Vita, ooh, we have that for free on our website. A template for that. 2 publications. I can't help you with that, just pulling it out. I can help you with getting things published. Teaching statement or teaching philosophy, we have a template for that. Research statement, we have a template for that. Diversity statement, we have a template for that. And then they're going to want, wow, 4 professional references. So you'll definitely want to be very careful, check all that, follow the instructions. But like I said, we have a bundle for you where we have templates. So to help you organize your writing for all these pieces, because there's lots of writing pieces. So what I'll do is I'll throw in this handy little template here as well for those of you who purchased that packet. And I'll be making another video where I talk about some tools and tricks and tips and strategies for writing these pieces. And I'll talk more about that bundle as well. Okay, that's all for now. And until next time, happy writing and productivity and truth seeking, and we'll talk later.